Hey everyone, welcome to Describely. My name is Kisri Nandan and I'm starting a new series where I will be solving the LeetCode question and I will try to upload one problem a day. So if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe so that you can also get notified whenever there is a new video. So this is the LeetCode problem number 1, to sum. Let's read the description. So what it says, given an array of integers nums and an integer target, return indices of two numbers such that they add up to a target. Okay, all right. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice. Okay, you can return the answer in any order. So what the problem is saying that there will be input nums and that this is going to be an array. Okay, and we will also have a second argument in the as an input, that is the target, and we need to find two numbers in that array and that add up to this target. Okay, and this second line is saying uh, we would have exactly one solution. That means we will have only one combination that add up to the target, and it says you may not use the same element twice. That means we cannot use the same element twice. Let me give you an example. Let's say your array is something here. Let me change the code to Python. Okay, so let's say your array is something like this. This is your array and you have here 1, 2, 3, 5 and 7. Okay, and now your target is basically, let's say, 10. And if we try to find out 10, then if we add 5 two times, right, we will get 10, and we can also get 10 by adding 7 and 3. So this line is saying that you may not use the same element twice. That means we cannot use the 5 plus 5. Otherwise we will be using, in that case we will be using the 5 two times, so this is not allowed. So we can use one element only once. All right, let's see the example here. So in the example it says nums equal to 2, 7, 11 and 15, and what is the target given? That is 9. Okay, so we need to find two element in this array that will add up to 9. So you can see here clearly that if we add 2 plus 7, that will equate to 9. So since we need to return the indexes here, it has said indices. So you can see the 2 will be at 0 index and 7 will be at index 1. So that's why we have the output at as 0 and 1. Now if we talk about the second example, then 3, 2, 4 and the target is 6. Here you can see if you try to add 3 plus 2, right, this is going to be 5. And if you add 2 plus 4, this will be 6. So that means we have found the answer and we need to return the 2 and 4, the indexes of 2 and 4. So index of 2 is 1 and index of 4 is 2. So this is our answer. Example 3, it says nums equal to 3 and 3 and the target is 6. So here we are not using the same element twice, although the element is duplicated, because if you see the index of this 3, this is 0, and if you see the index of this 3, this is 1, right? So these are not the same element, although they have the same value, but they are the different element. So that's why we can use these two to get the target 6, and the output will be index 0 and index 1. So a very naive way to solve this problem will be to run two loops. And okay, let's solve this. Let me get the length, and the length will be the length of nums. So this is the length of the array, and now run to loop. You can say for I in range length, and when we need to find the two elements, since we need to find the two elements, right, we cannot go till last. We can run our first loop till here only. So in that case we will say -1. Okay, and then let's get the first element. So if you can say first element will be nums, and you can pass the index. So this is our first element, and then you can run another loop for j in range, and now this j will start from here. So let's say your I is at here 2, right? Then your j will start from 7. Using this you will get these two elements. If you start from here, then you will be using the same element twice. So we don't want that. We want to start from the next index. So since we want to start from the next index, then we can say I plus 1, and it will go till the length of the array, and now we can get the second value of the second element by saying nums j. Okay, so we can check now if a first and plus second equals to target, then what we need to return, we need to return the indexes as per this problem. So we can return the indexes as a list, because you can see here it is expecting a list. So the index of the first element is I and the index of the second element is j. So we can return this, and since it is guaranteed here, you can say, you may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. So since the solution is guaranteed, so we can return it here. That means the our whenever we are running the loop, right, it will reach here. So let's run this code. Okay, it says object of type int has no, okay, I have used length twice, so this should not be length here because I have already calculated. My bad. Again a typo, sorry about that. So if I try one more time, you can see the all the test cases that we had, it has passed. And if I talk about the time complexity of this problem, then this is O n square. Why? Because we are running two loops, one loop, and inside that we are running again one loop. So in case of time complexity, if we consider the worst case, then this is going to be n square. So we know that the time complexity of this solution is n square, and if we talk about the space complexity, so in that case, space complexity is going to be O1, since we are not going to use any extra space, right? But this time complexity is n square. This is very bad. So let's optimize this for a better performance. And for this, let me remove the code, and I'm just going to use some extra space here. So for that, I will create a variable called memo, and I will make this a dictionary, and then I will run a loop. I will say for I n in enumerate, and I will pass the nums here. Why I'm using the enumerate? Because I need the index also. Okay, so now let's proceed here. So we have n, that means if I consider this input, right, so uh, in the first iteration the n will be 2, and in the second the n will be 7. Okay, so in the first iteration, so if we have the 2, we can check what are the other value that is required. And how can we get that? We can get that by subtracting the current value from the target. Okay, so we can say the required value will be target minus n. So this is the required value. Okay, so we can check if required in memo. That means if we have already seen the required value in the memo. So let's check the opposite thing. We can say if required not in memo. If we have not seen the required value, like in case of 2, we have not seen the 7. Okay, so what we need to do, basically we can put this 2 into memo. Okay, so what we can say memo and n, and the value of this dictionary is going to be the index. And in case of this required value is there in the memo, that means we have already seen this value, right? If I go to the 7, right, then I will calculate the required value. So in that case, the required value is going to be 9 minus 7, and this will be 2. And since in the first iteration we have added 2 here in the memo, so we have already seen the 2. So in that case, the cursor will not go into this condition, it will come into the else part. And in the else part, what we need to do, we just need to return the indexes. So what we can return, the indexes by saying memo, okay, and required, and the current index that we have. Since it's a dictionary and we are storing the index as a value, so we provide the key as the required value and the current index that we have. Okay, so this is our answer. If I run the code, you can see all the test cases has been passed, and now the time complexity is n, since we are running a loop only once for a particular item. And the space complexity, since we are storing the value, right, in worst case this is also going to be n. So this is our time complexity and this is our space complexity. So this is much better than what we had previously. If I submit this problem, you can say all the test cases has been passed. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you haven't subscribed the channel, please subscribe, and see you in the next video.